I have my honorable friend Iqra Khalid in the studio. Hello.
Hello, how are you, Ekta?
Thank you so much, Iqra, for coming to my show.
Absolutely.
It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. I have to tell my viewers, Iqra is a dynamic leader. She's a wonderful person, and one leader whom I admire the most. She's always there to help and uplift women in all the communities. Thank you so much, Iqra, again for coming here.
Thank you, Ekta, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Kwanzaa, and a very, very Happy New Year, and good riddance 2020.
Of course, thank you so much. Iqra, we all know this COVID-19 has been playing with our lives all over the world, and we all have paid the price of this in some or the other way, be it psychological, economical, social. We've lost our jobs. Some of the people have lost their loved ones. How challenging this phase has been for you as an MP, as a leader?
Well, I really think that this has been a very challenging year, not just for myself, but for all Canadians. When the lockdown first happened back in March, I remember I was in Ottawa and we got sent home. So I was back in my riding, and over the course of that week, when all airports were shut down, we received and we were able to find out there were about 400 and some of my constituents that were stuck in 23 different countries across the world. And with borders being shut down all across the world, it took us a month, but we were able to get everybody back home that wanted to come back home. It was the largest repatriation outside of of a war in Canada's history. I really think that we've been working really hard, and I think that we've been able to support Canadians effectively, whether it's through the Canada Emergency Response Benefit, the wage subsidy, the business account, the student benefits, the disability credits, the seniors payments, really trying to make sure that people are able to stay home. I just lastly just want to say thank you to all of our frontline workers. They have been working so tirelessly, putting their own lives on the line. I've been working 7 days a week this year as well. We do it so that we can all support each other. And Ekta, you are absolutely right when you said that the only way that we're going to get through this is that if we get through it together. So good on you for really raising awareness. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I really appreciate, and of course, we are all very thankful to the frontline workers, to healthcare people, those grocery, those truck drivers, those Canada Post guys, everyone, and the biggest thank to you guys, the leaders of this country, who are doing day and night, 24/7, so much for making our life comfortable in whatever way possible. You guys are doing an excellent job, and we are thankful day and night to you. Okay, there is one more topic which has been very much talked about during this COVID, and I know for some reason you're also very much connected with that topic. I met you in an event last year, and I can never forget how supporting and encouraging and motivating you were with all the women there. It was an event, probably you don't remember, you every day attend events, and so this question is regarding this women who are going through intimate violence partner, that domestic violence. Lot of things have been coming up during this COVID time. So I wanted to know, what is the government doing especially regarding this thing, if you can put a light on this.
Absolutely. And Ekta, it's my biggest passion is to make sure that women are given equality of opportunity everywhere. I do chair the Women's Caucus in Ottawa, the Liberal Women's Caucus, as well as the All-Party Women's Caucus, where members of Parliament who are women, but also men who believe in women's issues. We come together and we strategize as to what we should do next to better support women. Over this year, we've seen an alarming increase in domestic violence, in intimate partner violence. There have been a number of things that we've been working on prior to COVID. One was that we changed our divorce laws to make it easier for separation to happen without either parent using the child as a weapon against the other parent, for example, and to restrict access, especially in the case when there's abuse in the household. And then, for example, bail, a man who goes to jail for having abused his wife, if he has had prior convictions or if he owns a gun, then his bail hearing will be impacted completely, and he'll have restricted access to his partner. Over this year of COVID, and I was talking to Chief of Police, Chief Duryappa here, we were talking about how much domestic violence has increased, especially in Peel region. In Mississauga alone, I think recorded 4 women have been killed by their spouses in our city just this year. And we've been trying to make sure that we're providing that support. So we've invested $50 million in women's shelters across the country to make sure that they have a safe place to go. And we're also creating a whole strategy around gender-based violence. And that means providing effective housing. That means providing the effective mental support that you need to transition out of that. And obviously the legal supports that you need and everything else in between. So this strategy is really, we've launched it last month. We're keeping on building upon this strategy. Our Minister of Women and Gender Equality, Mariam Monsef, and I work very closely together to really raise these issues. And I would welcome any input, any ideas that you have and your viewers have in how we can continue to really spread equality and make sure that women are protected in their homes.
You are absolutely fantastic. And this is such a nice information that you're sharing here. As a woman yourself, what do you advise to the women around us?
It's a lot easier said than done. In fact, just 2 days ago, my office is closed, but a young woman reached out to me and she said, "I'm really struggling. I need your help." And so I met with her, physically distanced, of course, and she was visibly shaking and she was so nervous and you could tell she was having a hard time sitting still. And we got to talking, and I realized that she had suffered abuse from her husband for about 10 years. And physical abuse, emotional abuse, 2 children who witnessed all of this in their lives. And so she just recently filed for a divorce, and was looking for some supports. And we were able to guide her to housing, to place where she could work, and also some mental health support as well. Everybody deals with trauma very differently. And I'm not an expert, but I'm a facilitator where I can try to see how I can provide support. I think one of the hardest challenges, especially people in the South Asian community deal with, is finances, where women have a difficult time leaving because they're not in charge of the household finances. They don't have access to finances for them to go anywhere or to go anywhere far. So that's finding a job, finding housing, that then becomes that much more challenging. But in general, though, when I see women who have gone through a really, really difficult time, I say to them that, it's in you. You yourself can make your life better. There are people around you to support you, but you have to reach out to ask for that support. And you'll see and you'll know how much the community can come together to really take care of each other. But believe in yourself first and foremost.
So beautifully explained. I love you for that. You're just amazing. Okay, I couldn't stop myself. There's a young girl, she's a undergrad final year student who wanted to ask you a question on screen. Can I have Yashasvi on the screen, please? Yashasvi, we can't hear you. Unmute.
Hi, Iqra.
Hi, how are you, Yashasvi?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay. Yashasvi is a finance student, 4th year, and she wants to pursue law. So for her, you are one of the role models. So Yashasvi, what's your question to Iqra?
Well, I really admire your journey in Canada. And as said, you are a role model for a lot of girls. So my question to you is, what advice would you give to a student like me to become successful like you?
First and foremost, believe in yourself. Know that you can do it. I know that that sounds really silly, but trust me, I have met a lot of people who don't even believe in their own capabilities. In fact, a lot of women have what is called the imposter syndrome, where you think you're going to get kicked out of a room at any time because you feel like you don't belong there. The second thing, work hard. Work hard, work hard, work hard. Women have to prove themselves at least twice more, work twice as hard in order to get half the credit as our male counterparts. And, you know, BIPOCs even more so, Black, Indigenous people of color, even more so. The third thing I will say is, and again, this is going to sound like it's, you know, like it should be common sense, but trust me, so many people don't really clue in. We all face challenges in our lives. My challenges are just as big as yours. Yours are just as big as Ekta's. They may be different, but in our minds, they're just as heavy. But never ever let those challenges stop you from where you want to go. You know, and I always think of there's two ways to describe something that is in front of you that is it's blocking your path. It's either a challenge or it's a barrier. And I never in my life have thought of something that is blocking my path as a barrier. I always think of it as a challenge. A barrier has really negative undertones to it, where a challenge is something that's made to be overcome. And I'm a very competitive person. If somebody challenges me, I will go and defeat that. But if I think of it in my mind as a barrier, then I'll be, oh no, like now my life is stopped and I'm a victim and oh no, what to do? So, you know, I really think that mindset is very, very important. And the last thing I'll say, which is a little bit perhaps more concrete, what I do is I make myself a 5-year plan. Every 5 years, I make myself a 5-year plan and I stick to that plan. You know, and the plan is not get this job, get this. The plan is have 10% more women elected to parliament, or bring in, you know, more support for seniors in my riding. Or so my goals are a little bit more vague, or I guess more principled instead of more concrete. But I do define myself by the goals that I set every 5 years, and that really helps me in staying organized and staying focused. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you so much for that. And thank you for allowing me to ask the question.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Yashasvi. That was a wonderful question. I couldn't resist myself when she approached me. She said she wants to come and ask Iqra a question. I said, wonderful, okay, I'll let you come. And that was such a motivating answer, Iqra. That's why I love you so much. You're a wonderful, amazing person. Okay, at the end, I would request you to give a message to people who are inside, indoor, and now when this another mutated virus is coming up. So what do you know, tell the citizens of Peel region or Ontarians how to stay strong?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody, not just our frontline workers, but also all Ontarians who've been staying home, who've been practicing physical distancing, who've been really sacrificing so much to protect the well-being of our community. I really, really appreciate your sacrifice. And I know that all Ontarians and all Canadians indeed really appreciate your sacrifice as well. This new strain that has been discovered, there's 2 cases so far in the Durham region. Potentially there will be more. Understand that this, what we know about this strain right now is that, yes, it spreads a lot faster, but its symptoms are not more severe than what is COVID-19. And the vaccine will cure or will inoculate you from this variant of COVID as well. So it is paramount. It is so important that yes, where there is light at the end of the tunnel, we have to keep physical distancing. We have to stay indoors. We have to stay within our bubbles. and just wait out this storm. If we don't, then we're not going to be able to control the spread of COVID-19, which impacts thousands and thousands of lives. And I'm sure viewers know how many people have died just in Ontario, just in Peel region, just in Toronto so far this year. So please be mindful, practice physical distancing. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and we are going to get through this together. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and very, very Happy New Year to all of you.
Thank you so much, Iqra. That was so wonderful speaking to you. It was my honor to have you in my studio, and I hope we all get that strength, what we are looking for from this version of yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ekta. And I'll see you guys soon out and about in the community.
Okay, bye-bye.